this is where young people have the first touch with culture and music, so they should support it.
It has a value, it means something, and it moves people in a radical way.
For us, promoting Polish scene is everything.
Krakow, a university city with a huge student population and masses of tourists. It's known as Poland's cultural capital and is home to a close-knit electronic scene that has been flourishing out of sight since the early 90s. From the old-school basement raves in Club Shushtafor, right up to the present day with the equally subterranean Szpitalny 1. In 2003, Krakow's club scene came into sharper focus when the city opened its doors to Unsound Festival, bringing Europe's most discerning fans to the city every October. But the festival only lasts 1 week. The scene then reverts back to basement clubs, where progressive local talents drive the scene forward from a less visible position. Hey, I'm Zakia. I'm a DJ and a music journalist, and I've come to Krakow to meet some of the people behind the city's electronic music scene. I'm here as part of Boiler Room and Ballantyne's True Music, meeting some of the city's DJs, promoters and producers to get their take on this exciting scene. I want to discover what challenges they face against the backdrop of a vast student population and mass tourism. Afterwards, we'll be back to set up a programme to help the community progress the scene on their own terms. My first stop is with Czeluś, a producer-rapper duo making their own distinct brand of Polish trap and witch house. Dedicated to supporting Polish artists, their label and club nights are a hit with local students. Tonight, we're going to their new Gabba party, Ruski Pop, so I wanted to find out more. So tell me about the kind of music that you make and the kind of genres that you play at your parties.
It's like witch house, maybe something like trap music. Yeah, it's a basement music.
Because Krakow is a town of basements, so the underground scenes are usually in basements.
I'm wondering how important it is for you to kind of support Polish sounds.
If you want to be heard in this world, you need to create something locally. There's no platform, no way of communication, nothing that we could work on, that we could base on. We had to start everything from scratch. And for us, promoting Polish scene is everything.
We're heading out tonight. Tell me about Ruski Pop. What is it?
It's like a hardstyle, gabber.
Do you know hard bass music?
Hard bass party.
We're gonna show you hard bass music. It's originated in Russia, and it's good. This is why our party is called Ruski Pop, because it's Russian pop music.
Pop,
yeah, it's just a rave party.
So should I be scared? Should I be scared?
You should wear some.
Should be happy.
Okay. Should wear some armor. You know?
Wear some armor. You're gonna play me some. I'm quite curious to sample the Ruski Pop.
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to see the dance as well?
See
the Russian
you've got to school
dance?
me. You've got to school me. I need to know like how to move. It's a bit like bassline.
So it's comedy slash. It's hardstyle music, but it's also comedy. You know, that's why it's so good. That's why so many young people relate to this. So also you have like Ruski Pop.
Can we hear some that you've made?
Yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah, of course. it's a dancey track. And of course, the Powerpuff Girls.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Do you know what is gonna happen right now?
No,
You don't know.
So you're gonna drop this one tonight?
Oh, of course.
Sure. He asked you.
Out of the Ruski Pop party, I've got to admit I was a little bit nervous because Gabba, hard dance, not really my thing, but I got really into it in the end, found a dancing partner, bust some moves, and it was just really nice because everyone was kind of just having fun, being silly. No one was taking themselves too seriously. Yeah, maybe I'll come again. The Ruski Pop Party was a real eye-opener. It was definitely more of a student crowd, so Czeluś obviously know what makes Krakow's younger audience tick. At the other end of the spectrum is Klub Spitalny 1, one of Krakow's most iconic electronic music institutions. Set in a 400-year-old basement just off the city's main square, it's a hub for the more experimental side of electronic music. I'm meeting the venue's creative director to find out more about the history of the scene, the club itself, and some of the challenges it faces. So tell me a little bit about where we are right now.
So we're now in Spitalna 1 Club. This is one of the biggest clubs with presenting underground music. It's here for 3 years. The scene here is extremely colorful. There's techno, there's acid, there's house music, there's disco, funk, psytrance, bass, but electronic music is still on the edge of interest.
What are some of the challenges perhaps faced by promoters, by DJs, by bookers?
There's not so many journalists or media that are writing about this music. The fact that the Krakow is a student city, the crowd changes a lot. There's not a big knowledge in recipients on why this music is so interesting.
This city has a very particular and really interesting history. In 1989, there was this massive cultural shift with the end of the Soviet era. So I'm just wondering how that kind of influenced the electronic scene.
Like in general, it was like a cultural shift because Poland opened up for arts and music and everything that wasn't really available for us. I think that for a long time we didn't really get how valuable we are, how valuable our art world is, because you always compare yourself to something that you think is better. Krakow was always artistic city, like events and bohemian vibe was always going around here. You can experience it on a daily basis even now.
Without experiencing it for themselves, it can be difficult to educate the students and the tourists about the music on offer at Spitalna. Next, I'm heading to Bomba Cafe, a popular basement venue that's about to be closed down. There, I'll meet Olivia and Chino, who've been running their night We Are Radar for 7 years. So you've both kind of been on the scene for 10, 15 years. What was it like when you first started DJing?
It was always a city of broken music, of lots of drum and bass, breakbeat, then dubstep. But then during the years it changed to like more straight music, but it's still not the most popular kind of techno. It's more about the raw sort of acid and TBM and electro stuff.
The city, I think, pushed us to be more selectors than just proper techno DJ who just going to play 2 hours set bangers and that's it.
You play a lot outside of Krakow, and yet you've decided to stay in Krakow. And is that a kind of conscious choice, or is that a matter of circumstance?
Krakow is so close to my heart. I was born here. I'm doing parties for so many years. I just want to be part of it. I just don't want to leave it. Some part of me is an activist, so I just want to work for the scene. I just want to see how it develops. I don't know, I feel like a mission. I have to be here. So I would like to see that all these small places survive. Electronic music can be a culture. This is where the small places where we playing, it's like where you make friends, you make music. This is where young people have the first touch with culture and music, so they should support it.
It was really inspiring hearing Olivia and Chino's dedication to their city and commitment to driving change. The temptation to leave Krakow is clearly outweighed by the pull of the city and a desire to stay and advance the scene. Later that night, I joined Paulina at Spitalna to hear them play. So I've just come out of Spitalna 1, saw Chino and Olivia play. It was quite a different vibe to Ruski Pop. A bit of an older crowd, not quite as but yeah, fun. I can see why it's a challenge to get students through the door at Spitana, but we're keen to explore how this might change. Independently run spaces like this are so important to Krakow's nightlife community, and people like Paulina, Olivia and Chino are clearly unfazed by the challenges. It was really exciting to experience their passion and dedication firsthand. One party that manages to attract people from across the spectrum is community-focused psytrance rave Ego Drop, known for its psychedelic visual effects. I wanted to meet with its creator, Mikhail, to understand why his night is so successful.
We do electronic psychedelic music parties. I'd say it's mostly psytrance.
There aren't always massive audiences for particular nights, but it seems like your night is quite successful. What's your secret?
People come there, and if they come for the first time, it's like, whoa, what's this? You know, there's so many things that they have never experienced in their life. There's this art that you don't really see on the streets. There's all this stuff glowing in UV. There's some crazy installations, big projections. It's the experience, I think. That's what we've managed to achieve, is to create an awesome experience for the people.
And what kind of audiences? Who comes to your parties? Is it students? Is it a slightly older crowd? Who's there?
You know, there's people like me, which is over 30. There's people which are over 40. There's a lot of students. But now new people come, say, hey man, if you want to keep the scene going, you got to have new people. You can't close yourself in this little, society.
So how would you like to see the scene in Krakow evolve?
In terms of creating this experience, everybody should be looking for their own way of creating this bigger experience than just a party.
Next, I'm going to speak to the people behind Unsound, one of the most forward-thinking and respected electronic music festivals in the world. It's been running for 16 years and makes its home in a disused brutalist hotel simply known as Forum. Lukasz, co-curator of the festival, gave me a quick tour of the building.
So we're in the biggest room of Hotel Forum. Basically, we try to have something for people who just straight up love to dance, and also to bring people who are more into experimental music. Here we had like a surprise show from Richie Hawtin, and I got some messages from people after the party was over, like, oh my God, Richie Hawtin, I'm coming, just like save me a ticket, I'll be there. And I was like, sorry, it's over.
Can't do it.
It's over. But nobody would expect that he would actually perform in a smaller room unannounced, like this huge stuff. So we're in 89, which in the early 90s was called the Crazy Dragon. Originally it was a disco, then it became a strip club. The history is here. It's still here.
Later, we were joined by Gosia, director of the festival, to find out more about their progressive creative vision.
Unsound was started in 2003. It was still a very small initiative of friends basically loving electronic music, which wasn't very present in Krakow then, and they decided to start this little initiative, which I think at first wasn't super successful, but it kept on rolling, and 2019 we're still here.
50% of your audience comes from outside of Krakow. How many local people buy tickets?
Half of the Polish people that come to Unsound are from Krakow. What we do, because the passes sell out in like a minute or two every year, but we put this effort to set some tickets aside for people so they can get them at the door. It works pretty well. You can't really, I don't know, like tell the difference, like who's from here, who's from abroad, like they're very receptive to the music.
I think Unsound is this strange example of an event that was basically supported by public funding, but it still remains edgy and underground and weird. And actually, I think that we've done a good job of like showing that this actually matters and this attracts people, and this is what actually makes people think that it has a value, it means something, and it moves people in a radical way as well. So I think, I think there is a change in perception.
There's a younger generation of creatives who've grown up inspired by the presence of Unsound. starting a new wave of parties and a bubbling DIY culture that has the power to draw in students and keep the scene growing. Technorączka is a collective who started off volunteering at the festival. They've not been around for long, but already their parties are being recognised for their exciting bookings and high production values.
We didn't know anything about organizing party because it's so.
We know how to party.
Yeah, it was really.
You know how to party. You don't know how to put on a party. Back then.
Exactly. Yeah, but so it was, of course, a bit spontaneously at the beginning, but I have to really admit that we are learning fast. So with every next step, we are putting ourselves a bit further, a bit, let's say, maybe at a difficult level, but so far so good. So,
what's your inspiration for the parties that you put on?
Yeah, what we really try to do for each party we're organizing is to find someone who is not that well known, but is very promising for the future, and we really want to present it here to Krakow audience as Technorączka, who really can educate people, who can really bring something from abroad to Krakow. You can feel here like yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to wear like super expensive shirt or dress like super sexy. You just get into the club and you do whatever you want.
So my trip in Krakow is coming to an end. I've had a really wicked time, met some super cool and passionate people who are dedicated to putting Krakow on the map for electronic music. It's been a fascinating trip. It seems like as the scene grows, there'll be a delicate balance of preserving its essence while allowing it to expand and flourish. There are some unique challenges in getting the students and tourists into the underground clubs and enabling the local artists to get wider recognition outside of the city. Next, we'll work with the community with the aim of supporting its promoters and bringing about positive change within their scene. And yeah, looking forward to the next phase. The scene is in very capable hands, so I've got no doubt about its future.